Happy New Year, everybody. Today I'm going to list the top candies that I reviewed in 2022. I'm also going to talk about the bottom feeders too afterwards, so make sure to stay tuned for that. So the top candies, first of all, there's a whole bunch that got in this level. These are candies that scored a 12.5 on candycritic.org. First of all, there's Hershey's Kisses lava cake. So they're these little kisses and they have sort of this lava cake filling, you know, like the filling you get in lava cake. Pretty creative, and I think it actually really works for Hershey's Kisses. The next is Kit Kat bar from America. They got a 12.5. As you all know, Kit Kat bars, they range depending on where they come from. There's actually different ingredients. My favorite one being a British one, which is actually the #1 rated candy on candycritic.org. But the American one did okay. That's actually pretty good. It's probably one of the lower ones on the sort of standard milk chocolate Kit Kat bars in my list, but you know, I could go on forever about that. Next is Ruffles KFC edition. So I really enjoyed this. This was a special that they released in Canada, and it was Ruffles chips. And so it wasn't that they tasted like KFC chicken, but they were just spiced with the 11 herbs and spices. It also had a bit of a milky thing. So it almost tasted like a buttermilk chicken thing. So that was really cool. So that was kind of cool. Also got a 12.5. The next is a Kit Kat Peach. This was a variety I got from a Japanese store in Ottawa. It was fantastic. It was great. It tasted like peach, and I actually kind of like peach and white chocolate. It's a flavor that I kind of get into. The other one, Kit Kat Whole Wheat. This had sort of a unique flavor. Also another Japanese candy bar. It was kind of neat because it was made with whole wheat instead of regular, and you could actually kind of taste it a little bit. So we're going to the next level up. So we went from 12.5. The next level up is actually 14. So we didn't have anything between 12.5 and 14, which is kind of, I guess, not rare. I do have reviews in that level. I have reviews at just about every level, except for some of the lower ones. You'll see, I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But so the next was a 14. We've got 2 entries that got 14 this year, which is a really high score, which means it's a treat I highly recommend you get. First of all is Lay's Layers Sour Cream and Onion. So this is a treat made by Lay's, and there were these round circles with this sort of like little wavy line through it. They tasted okay. The flavor was okay, but they were really unique. They really crunched. The texture was like nothing I'd ever had before. And it was sort of like one of those things where I feel like if you improve the flavor just a little bit, you'd have almost the perfect snack. But the crunch and the uniqueness of it was really fantastic. I think in the review I called it as if somebody tried to engineer the perfect crunch for a potato chip, and that's what you got. So that was really cool. The other one that got 14 is actually another potato chip, Mrs. Vicky's sea salt and vinegar potato chips. To me, this is probably one of my favorite potato chips. It is my go-to potato chip. I love salt and vinegar potato chips, and to me, this is like probably the pinnacle of salt and vinegar potato chips. So what can I say? For me, it's a classic. I don't know if it's a classic everywhere, but I don't know how vast Mrs. Vicky's gets around in Canada. It's pretty much a staple, at least in Ontario, but I don't know if it's a staple everywhere else. But you know, of course, 14 points. I highly recommend if you've never tried them, get your hands on some. You'll truly love them. And the #1 review this year. This is the only candy to review this high. It got a 14.5, and it was Coco Choco, which is this tiny little candy, which was Ukrainian. So you know, it's kind of interesting, socially relevant. But there's a little egg. Apparently, cocoa is the sound that chickens make in Ukraine. And it was this amazing little chocolate egg that was just so good, so well made, so thoughtful, just so perfect for like a little tiny treat. And it was one of those things where I wish I could get a bag of them, not just to eat myself, but to show people how amazing this chocolate is. So, I mean, I think right now it might be something hard to get, but you know, if you can get it, it supports, you know, the people of Ukraine, but also it's just such a unique chocolate treat. One of the best chocolate treats I've had in my life, actually. 14.5 is no joke as far as a review number. I think there are many years where I don't get that high in a review, so it's very rare. You'll see if you go to candycritic.org, there's not too many at 14.5, and there's only one at 15, so it's definitely a high bar to get. Before I go though, I want to go over, I have 2 of the worst treats that I reviewed this year. I don't normally like to dwell on the worst, but there was just 2 I figured worth mentioning. First is a Crunky Crunch, I am reading this because I'll forget it. Crunky Crunchy Wonder dark cookies. It's this sort of round cookie bar thing. it just didn't really say cookies. It was like some kind of weird white filling. I sort of thought maybe it would have some cookies and cream flavor, but it really didn't. Kind of a nougaty thing. It just didn't work. Like conceptually, there was too much going on, and the stuff that did go didn't work together and didn't really sell the idea of what it was supposed to be. That got a 4.5, which, or no, sorry, a 5. Got a 5, not 4.5, a 5, which isn't great, but there was one below it, and I'm sad to say it was a Snickers bar. It was Snickers creamy peanut butter bar. And I'm just, conceptually, it just didn't taste like a Snickers bar. It didn't have the feeling that a Snickers bar had. It didn't have the texture that a Snickers bar had. It was also really poorly made. Like, sometimes I get reviews and I get treats, and even by big companies, and for some reason they just, like, the quality isn't there. I had it came with 2 little bars. Each one was totally different size. The wrapper on it was so tight that it actually broke my chocolate bar. And it was just kind of disappointing all around. So unfortunately that got a 4, which is, again, 14.5 as the highest is rare. Like when you get 4 or below, that's pretty rare too. So unfortunately, and it's weird that like a name brand, like normally it's something that's sort of a knockoff or something like that would get such a low review, but for like a name brand treat to get that low is rare, and it's unfortunate. I wouldn't say that I dislike Snickers bars because of it. I'll just say that, I don't think I'm going to, maybe this particular one didn't work out. So better luck next time, Snickers. Congratulations to the Coco Choco for being the #1 review. Thanks for watching this list. And again, Happy New Year.